In 1987, after a 10-year layoff, George Foreman launched the greatest comeback in sports history. This culminated 7 years later after he knocked out Michael Moore to regain the heavyweight championship of the world. This was impossible, or at least we thought it was. Let's rewind for a second. In 1977, after dropping a decision in a lackluster performance against Jimmy Young, Foreman had a near-death experience in the locker room. This led him to hanging up his gloves and becoming an ordained minister. In 1987, in an effort to raise money for a youth center he founded and to help out with his own finances, he started a comeback, one which many people didn't take seriously. How could they? The man was 38 and hadn't fought for 10 years. So how did this happen? Most importantly, he believed. The biggest fight most fighters have is the one between their ears. He already fought that fight and won. He was mentally fit. He was also spiritually fit. His faith let him box without hatred and stay calm for fights without wasting energy. He also believed God can turn any loss into a win. And lastly, he was training harder than he ever had in his life, and he knew he was physically fit as well. Power is the last thing to go. Big George had plenty of that and some to spare. The younger George rushed opponents and with big sweeping punches knocked them into orbit. The older version was more patient. He took his time. He wore his opponents down. With hands as heavy as his, punches don't need to be thrown hard. They just need to land, and land anywhere, arms, shoulders, wherever. Foreman's trainer, Archie Moore, also changed his style. He taught him the cross-armed guard, which allowed Foreman to use his arms and elbows to block punches. Foreman learned to stay relaxed and move less instead of intensely chasing opponents around the ring. It gave him the confidence to let the opportunity come because he had enough gas in the tank. I would also like to add that big heavyweights age better. Their size gives them the chance to make adjustments, where shorter fighters like Tyson or Frazier are stuck in their styles. Against conventional wisdom, the 38-year-old didn't rush his comeback. Without time on your side, it's thought the faster you make your move, the better. Instead, George took his time to drop weight and work on his craft. He definitely picked the right opponents, but the goal was to get in rounds with the least amount of risk. Slowly but surely, he improved his competition and the pounds came off. At the age of 45, Foreman's victory over Moore made him the oldest world champion in history. It did much more than that too. It inspired people all over the world. As George said, old age is a state of mind, not body. You're only as old as you feel. Age is only a number.